Hello everyone. Once again we are back to review the Hindu newspaper of 16th of February 2023. Let's start the session without wasting the time. I would like to remind you that I have a subscription from the Hindu website. Daily basis I am downloading the newspaper from the website and reading here on this platform. Let's start. So we have a newspaper this of 16th of February 2023. Let's start one by one. These are the let me skip the advertisement. So here are the headlines. On China, cabinet clears 7 ITBP battalions. Over 9,000 personnel to be recruited by deployment in Arunachal Pradesh. 48,000 crore sanctioned under the Vibrant Villages program to stop migration and boost tourism in border villages. In brief, Uttarakhand government firms up its relief plan for Chochimad. Expedite work on increasing pension government as EPFO as a deadline set by the Supreme Court for submitting joint option of employees and employers to claim higher provident fund pension ends on March 4. The Union Labour Minister has directed the employee EPF organization to expedite the process so that those who want to claim higher pension based on high salary can make use of the option. NIA searches 40 locations Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka. Tripura goes to the post today. Scottish First Minister Nicola Sturgeon resigned. High Court questions use of POSCO Act in Assam crackdown. The Guwahati High Court has questioned the application of the Protection of Children from Sex Offence Act in child marriage case in Assam while granting anticipatory bail to 9 people booked under the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act on Feb 14. IT survey on at BBC offices for second day. Merchandise export tip. MCD budget passed without debate. Taxes to remain unchanged. Night shelter raised in DDA drive against encroachment in city. Shelter demolished to make way for G20 meeting venues. Staged petition in Supreme Court. Structure removed only after approval from DUSIB, says Minister. Night shelter number 235 Sarai Kale Khan being raised and during a demolition drive on Wednesday. Nikki murder. Delhi police retrieve CCTV footage of victim hours before murder. Sahil Gehlot, the accused, allegedly strangulated Nikki on Feb 9 before storing her body in a fridge. Panel 2 recommended jammer technology for chase gets CM nod. Claim by Fadwanis that MVA government plan to arrest him is a lie. Coimbatore and Mangaluru blast. NIA searches 40 places. West Bengal budget thus on widening welfare schemes. The agencies carries out simultaneous search in 3 states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, sees a large number of digital devices and cash to the tune of 4 lakh. Arrested no one. Documentary on Gold for Service its founder showcased. BJP workers murder in Bastar head of Chhattisgarh politics. Tejaswani will ruin Bihar the way his father Lalu Prasad did. Upendra Kushwaha says his main concern is about the future of the state socially, economically, and educational backward people. Very difficult to make out who is the real boss in Bihar. IIT Bombay director resignation sought over death of a student. Editorial page. A manifesto for tackling the silent pandemic of AMR by Dr. Soumya Swaminathan is former chief scientist at the World Health Organization. AMR, while the world is emerging from the acute phase of COVID-19 pandemic, the very harmful but invisible pandemic of antimicrobial resistance is unfortunately here to stay. Most countries understood in 2020 the clear present danger of COVID-19 forcing government, including India, to respond with speed and accuracy. The rapidly rising MR rate as an accelerated multi-sector global national response. Brazen intimidation. Actions such as the tax survey on BBC are meant to produce a chilling effect. India's Sri Lanka refugees need for fair consideration. Oscar Mundia is Chief of Mission United Nations Human Rights UNHCR India and Maldives beyond limits. The real issue in Jammu and Kashmir and statehood and special status delimitation. More than delimitation. Opinion The Hindu. Judges and the law of political job. AP Shah is former Chief Justice Delhi High Court and former Chairperson Law Commission of India. Mamta and the Muslim conundrum. Trinamool wants to keep its Muslim support intact while pandering to Hindus. Off-budget borrowing is state-wise look. Unlike other states, Karnataka accounts its off-budget loan in its debts calculation. Tax and context. News in number. A bid to increase railway presence in freight transportation. 84,000 the number of wagons ordered by the Indian Railway this year to increase the share of railway in freight transportation up from to 27% 45% by 2030. According to Union Minister Darshana Georgia said she said that the transporter is expected to achieve its highest ever loading of 15,000 million ton this year, a rise in donation received by national parties ADR. Defense Ministry to spend the most on domestic industries. Appeal for from the UN to aid earthquake survivors in Syria. Organ damage persists in long COVID patients even after a year. 59 the percentage long COVID patient found to have organ damage a year after initial symptom, even in those not severely affected when first diagnosed with the viruses, according to new study published in the Journal of the Royal Society of Medicine. It also found that 29% of these patients had multi-organ impairment. Taxing windfall profits of oil companies. What are the windfall? How are they calculated? What does the government do with the revenue accrued from these taxes? Why are the profit of oil and gas companies rising? What role does the Russia-Ukraine war have? What has the chairman of the Central Board of Indirect Tax Customs said? The gist. On Feb 3, the Union government hiked the windfall profit tax levied on domestically produced crude oil as well as on the export of diesel and aviation turbine fuel. Understanding India's Mental Health Care Act 2070. What are the various challenges for the implementation of the Mental Health Care Act 2017? What did the National Human Rights Commission say about the act executed across the country? Text and context. The role of welfare schemes and policies for the Parhayas of Jharkhand. The daily quiz with Bengal and Saurashtra entering the Ranji Trophy final. Here is a quiz on the major first class cricket tournament. The word of the day iridescent. Indigenous carrier Vikrant will be operational by year end, Navy Chief. The carrier will be put through trial and radar fitment over the next few months, says Admiral R. Hari Kumar at the Aero India Defence Expo. Navy is likely to acquire 45 non-twin engines, deck-based indigenous fighter jets for 2040. He adds, domestic industry gets 75% defense capital outlay. Eye on China cabinet clear 7 ITBP veteran. IT survey at BBC offices enter second day Hall to provide maintenance and overhaul support for MQ-98 drone engine in India. EPF are told to expedite work on higher pension. Merchandise export declined January. Protest calendar for 23-24 ready to press for state of Ladakh. High Court question use of POSCO Act in Assam child marriages case. Governor should not enter political area. Chief Justice of India. Kashmir's market down shutter. News Hindu. Tripura voters hold the winning card as state goes to the polls today. Congress flays BJP government over its IT server. BBC says it has ruined India's image. Jairam urged RBI SEBI to probe allegations against Adani. Supreme Court to hear Congress leader plea on Adani tomorrow. Vice President sees design to run down India's growth story. India Bangladesh to back each other for United Nations Security Council membership. Why no action against Gehlot loyalist pilot? Uttarakhand firms up Joshimat relief plan. Israel group running fake campaign in India, other nation. A team of Israel contractors who are feared to have interfered with more than 30 elections around the world have been linked with software to operate fake social media campaigns across several countries, including India. A report said on Thursday. In an international investigation by journalist consortium, including The Guardian, the UK, a firm dubbed Team George has been linked with allegedly offering a sophisticated software package named Advanced Impact Medium Solution to commercial client as one of its services. The unit is said to be run by Talhanan, a 50-year-old former Israeli Special Forces operative who worked privately using the pseudonym George. The Guardian report said on Wednesday that it had tracked Ames link both activity across the internet and found it was behind fake social media campaign in about 20 countries, including the UK, US, Canada, Germany, Switzerland, Mexico, Senegal, India, and the UAE. The project, part of a wider investigation into the disinformation industry, has been coordinated by Forbidden Stories, a French non-profit with a mission to pursue the work of assassinated, threatened, or jailed reporters. The investigation part of Story Killers, a collaboration led by Forbidden Stories and was inspired by the work of Gauri Lankesh, 50-year-old journalist who was shot dead outside her house in Bangalore in 2017. The Guardian said that hours before Lankesh was murdered, she had been putting the finishing touch on an article titled "In the Age of False News," which examined how so-called lie detectors online were spreading disinformation in India. At Khajuraho, an exhibition on repertory fact. Freedom of speech within parliament is key, Rahul. Two held on charge of killing Dalit man in Muzaffarnagar. Languages are suppressed in colony area find no voice. Cabinet note for 2 lakh farm dairy cooperative. Arrested tribe plan to Rarga 7 Madhya Pradesh churches Dargah. Global study blames BJP backed troll for threat on journalist. Nearly 75% of women journalists who were part of a global survey that included India said they had been targeted by online violence. 20% they had experienced physical attack as a consequence. Saturday Night co-founded funded report published by the New York-based journalist Cantor Journalists. The group, which work studies in collaboration with the Forbidden Stories project that has also just released its investigation into the killing of the Bangalore-based journalist Dauriga Lankesh, has profiled Indian columnist Rana Ayub among the number of journalists and has alleged that group affiliated to the Bharatiya Janata Party were responsible for the attack. Neither the government nor the BJP responded immediately to requests for a response to the study. Today, an army of trolls evidently aligned with the ruling Hindu National Janata Party threaten Ayub at scale on a daily basis. The ICI report claimed the abuse routinely feature threat of death and rape. They are disinformation less and they display characteristics of the orchestrated. They are also deeply misogynistic and redolent of religious bigotry. The case study, the release public Thursday. The ICFJ also published 50K landing based on the analysis of more than 30-minute tweets direct and Qatar based and Gada quizzes and Lord become a TM. World News Geneva. At least 73 migrants presumed dead after shipwreck of Libya, United Nations. Russia jails journalists for 6 years over critical comments on war. China says US balloons flew over Xinjiang. Tibet warns of retaliation. White supremacist gets life in prison for Buffalo massacre. Peyton Gendron, a white supremacist who killed 10 black people in Buffalo in the US, was sentenced to life in prison after without parole on Wednesday. Gendron pleaded guilty in the November to crime including murder and domestic terrorism and motive aid. He also faces other charges that could carry a death sentence. China must take a haircut on its loans to poor countries, says India G20 Sherpa. Scotland leader Sturgeon announces shock resignation. Between BBC, Boeing and Airbus, Modi sets rules of the game with West. As it happened on the same day, the Tata Group owned Air India announced order for 70 aircraft from American manufacturing Boeing and French manufacturing Airbus. India Income Tax Authority dropped by at the office of BBC just as Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about deepening the strategic partnership with the US and France. BJP functionaries, including Union Minister, accused the BJP of running an anti-India agenda with the support of opposition party. Mr. Modi had French President Emmanuel Macron on video call and US President Joe Biden on an video call to celebrate the aircraft deal. While UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, whose country is also beneficiary of the deal in which Rolls-Royce will be making the engines for Airbus aircraft, tweeted out his abolish. All this taken together reflect the term of engagement that Mr. Modi wants to set as a Hindutva strategy doctrine for India's engagement with the world. Mr. Modi has repeatedly referred to three Ds: democracy, demand, and demography as factors that are an attractive place for the West to engage and do business with. When Mr. Modi began talking about 3D in 2014, the US was happily doing business with China. In the years that followed, the US relation with China knows Russia invaded Ukraine. The Biden administration now wants to frame international politics as a fundamental ideological clash between democracy and autocracy. On Tuesday, Mr. Modi invited Western companies to use the opportunity of India expanding civil aviation market. On the first D, Western government murmur occasional protest, but they cannot hide their excitement when it comes to the second D. The Air India order was Boeing third largest sale of all time. The Air India order was Boeing third largest sale of all time in dollar value, and it is the second of all time quantity. This purchase will support over 1 million American jobs across 44 states, and many will not require a 4-year college degree, US President Joe Biden said, according to a White House release. According to Mr. Sunak, the aircraft order will create better paid jobs and new opportunity manufacturing hubs from Derby to Wales, which will help the UK to grow the economy and support our agenda to level up. Mr. Macron was described Mr. Modi as a friend, and both hailed the strategic partnership between the two countries. The lure of the Indian market, powered by its demography, seems stronger than that of the secondary democracy. When the British government has so far remained silent on IT action, BBC, US State Department spokesperson Ned Price did not want to make a judgment other than declaring the importance of free media and democracy on whether the action went against democratic values. Mr. Price said, "I couldn't say we are aware of the fact of these searches, but I am just not in position to offer judgment." The BJP position is that the BBC is not a free media, but a foreign agent that is working with an anti-India agenda that is familiar logic for Western democracy. Actually, the US and the UE have imposed a range of restrictions on Russian media on the same ground. The Modi government had remained the Biden administration of the writers Manit question about policy against police, against protests and famine turning among New Delhi January. There are many contradictions in the narrative about a global contest between democracies and autocracies and the turmoil within democracies, countries and signification, undermining any claim of Western superiority on this front. The Hindutva strategic doctrine seeks Western support and cooperation for its nationalist ambitions. Hence, Western technology and investment are solicited, but there is a stiff resistance to Western prescription, domestic political situation. On the other side, when required to choose between a tangible commercial opportunity and the abstract moral objective, Western governments have never been confused. Warm water melts Antarctica glacier stadium. Business, the Hindu business. Government monitoring import to detect any surge that can hurt economy. Finance minister. Early availability of tier form to aid return filing from April 1. SBI raised MCLR base lending rates to 10 bps. Amrutanjan shares fall 8.1% as firm initiates forensic probe. Government may fuel tax cut to cool prices. Cereal, cereal inflation broad base and worrying, say economists. TI clean mobility roll over EV from March. Vedanta says it cut net debt by 2 billion fiscal. NSA impact with CME for crude natural gas contract. Consortium moves separate minister for micro enterprises. Wheat prices fell to 5 rupees kilo after open market sale. Sport. RCB robs Insania's team mentor for Women Premier League. Wareham and Lenin help Australia cruise to victory. Hyderabad Black Hawks down Kochi Blues by PVL. Tiger Woods eyes Rabia Trump despite injury concern. Deepthi Richa provide impetus to propel India West past 20. Not surprising to find the Aussies in tizzy as their struggle with spin continues. Shreya, if fit, will walk into 11, says David. Irani Cup tie in Gwalior like to be a pink ball affair. Bengal and Saurashtra to fight it out for national supremacy. Other news for the sports. This is all the news. Thank you for watching the channel. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.